Two new people are in custody. Much of the focus remains on James, who is charged with raping Dambuya. New at 6 o'clock, we're taking a closer look at his troubling juvenile record.
And as 24-hour News 8's Lindsay McComal found, his criminal history started well before Mujay was even born.
Yeah, Brian and Sue, that is correct. Shortly before his 16th birthday, which was back in 1991, a probate judge described his juvenile record as extensive. We now have the court docs that show why that same judge requested James be treated as an adult and serve jail time. Court documents included in Quinn James's juvenile file show more than a dozen charges before he could even get his license. They start in the summer of 1989, when James was 14 years old. He's accused of stealing cars, gas, and breaking curfew between July and August of that year. Then a month later, in September of '89, court records show his behavior became more violent. James is accused of using a hammer to threaten a woman, eventually charged with armed robbery of a car and assault with intent to commit sexual penetration. He was sent to the Kent County Youth Camp, but these documents show he went AWOL in November of '89. Was tracked down and sent back in December, had to be removed from the camp in the middle of the month because he was being aggressive and defiant, but was returned to the camp and then went AWOL again by stealing a car, wallet, and a diamond ring from the camp at the end of December. The next allegation, when James was 15 years old, in October of 1990, he was charged with using a tire iron in an armed robbery. The documents show he was stealing a woman's car and also attempted to kidnap her in the process. Then a few months later, in February, documents show James resisted arrest while a Kent County detective was trying to transport him back to a Kent County juvenile facility. In April, a probate judge granted a motion to move James to the Kent County jail, citing assessments that said, quote, Quinn's impulse control and social judgment showed serious flaws. It also referenced his caseworker saying, quote, he is a high risk to safety of the community, is a high risk to reoffend, and shows no remorse. He remained in prison until March 2011 and was hired as a groundskeeper by Kentwood Public Schools later that year. Now, I asked the Kentwood superintendent if they called the Department of Corrections as part of his hiring process back in 2011. The superintendent told me that he can't discuss background checks because of state law, but he did tell me that they are reviewing how they conduct background checks. His full statement can be read right now on woodtv.com. Brian.